Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Uyi Agmomofwegbe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC says it is ready for the upcoming Edo State governorship election scheduled for September 21, 2024. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu gave the assurance at the stakeholders meeting held in Benin City, the state capital, where he urged all political parties and candidates to ensure a peaceful election by restraining their supporters from resorting to violence. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, also announced that 35,000 personnel would be deployed for the electoral exercise. In the meantime, with days to the 2024 governorship election in Edo State, the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state threatened to boycott the General Abdulsalami Abubakar-led Peace Committee for the signing of peace accord by political parties participating in the exercise. Acting chairman of the APC in the state, Jared Tenebe, however, gave conditions for the party to partake in the peace pact led by former head of state, General Abubakar. The position of the main opposition party is coming barely 24 hours after Governor Godwin Obaseki has stated that the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the state may not participate in signing the peace accord, citing alleged bias on the part of the Nigeria police. Elsewhere, President Bola Tinubu has stated that his visit to King Charles III at Buckingham Palace is aimed at strengthening diplomatic ties with the United Kingdom. This was disclosed in a statement by the Special Assistant to the President on social media, Dada Olusegun, on his verified X account. Several state chairmen of the ruling All Progressives Congress have arrived in Abuja for the meeting of the National Executive Committee, NEC, only to meet a near-empty party secretariat. They, however, told journalists that they are planning a separate meeting with party leaders and the federal government on the current hardship occasioned by the removal of subsidy. There was no sign of the national chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, nor was there any member of the National Working Committee on hand to receive them. Armed bandits in the early hours of today blocked the ever-busy Gusau-Fantua highway, kidnapping unspecified number of travelers. Yusuf Safeh, a commuter who is still stranded around the area, told Global Television that the bandits stormed the highway around 7 a.m. and mounted a roadblock around Tazame axis of the road. He stated that the bandits, in their large numbers with about 50 motorcycles, each carrying 3 persons, abducted an unspecified number of travelers. At least 4,000 civil servants with the Kano State government, whose tenure was extended under the administration of former Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, are expected to retire on December 1, 2024. The decision followed the reversal of the policy that allowed workers to continue in service beyond the conventional retirement age. Affected workers had been granted an extension to serve for an additional 5 years after reaching the retirement age of 60 or completing 35 years of service under a policy introduced by Ganduje. However, this extension was revoked by Governor Abba Yusuf-led administration, reinstating the standard retirement rules. Aviation workers' unions have concluded plans to shut all airports across the country from September 18. The strike notice was made known through a statement signed by the General Secretary of the National Union of Air Transport Employees, Ocheme Abba, and Deputy General Secretary of the Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Francis Akinjole. This is following the alleged refusal of the federal government to accede to the call for the reversal of the 50% deduction policy from the internally generated revenues of agencies in the aviation sector. Airstrikes from the air components of Operation Well Punch have killed several terrorists who attacked other security agents in the Shiroro local government area of Niger State. A statement by the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigeria Air Force Group Captain Kabiru Ali, says the operatives during the attack requested air support. The terrorists, over 100 in number, were said to have engaged operatives from other security agencies in fierce gun battle. At least 414,000 people have been displaced and another 30 killed by the devastating flood in Maiduguri, Borno State capital. National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says the flood began after the Lao Dam overflowed following heavy rains, leading to what the United Nations Human Rights Refugee Council and Maiduguri Metropolitan Council residents called the town's worst flooding in 30 years. NEMA spokesman Manzo Ezekiel noted that the death toll had hit 30 and displaced persons close to 500,000. In the meantime, President of the Senate National Association of Nigerian Students, Fiz Akinteye, has expressed his deepest condolences to victims of the recent floods that swept through several parts of Maiduguri in Borno State. The group also called for longer-term solutions to the crisis as it implored the federal government to create a comprehensive plan that will address the immediate needs of the displaced. On a side note now, a first-class Osun State monarch, the Owa Obokun of Ijeshaland, Oba Gabriel Adekunle Aromalaro, is dead. His death was announced in a statement signed by Asiwaju of Ijeshaland, Chief Yinka Fashui, obtained in Osogbo, the state capital. Before Fayushi's confirmation of the monarch's passage, there was anxiety over the health of Oba Aromalaro, who was said to be indisposed. As primary and secondary schools set to resume for first-term academic activities across Anambra State on September 17, the state government has vowed to sanction no fewer than 2,000 unaccredited schools operating in the state. State Commissioner for Information Paul Nwosu, in a press statement, stated that the affected schools risk closure if the operators do not obtain the necessary approvals and accreditation. Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Dangewa, has called on architects to address the mounting pressures of rapid rural-urban migration and unprecedented population growth. Dangewa made this known at the 2024 Aki Builds exposition organized by the Nigerian Institute of Architects, NIA, in Abuja. Kekelamo Kerry has details.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Dangewa, highlighted the urgent need for innovative and sustainable solutions in the face of challenges by rapid rural-urban migration.
Second, we are also making progress in our efforts to boost the local manufacture of building materials. Early this year, we set up building material manufacturing task team with the mandate to produce a blueprint for developing the sector and building 6 manufacturing hubs, one in each geopolitical zones of the country.
Former Vice President Namadi Sambu echoed the call for reimaging cities as dynamic ecosystem. He proposed the establishment of a think tank of architects to provide the minister with practical, innovative solutions for sustainable and affordable housing.
We must commit to building sustainable and affordable buildings with materials that are sourced locally. In a nation blessed with abundant natural resources, it is imperative that we leverage these resources to create architecture that is both environmentally responsible and economically viable.
Earlier, the president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Mobolaji Adeni, explained that the exposition was aimed at showcasing cutting-edge products, ideas, and technologies poised to redefine built environment.
We also recognize the fact that the construction industry in Nigeria has been plagued with a multitude of problems, stemming from building collapses to the high cost of building materials and also an alarming deficit of skilled workers. All of this affecting our industry. However, these challenges, which are not just peculiar to our country alone, can be overcome by stakeholders in the built environment. Financial institutions, manufacturers of building materials, relevant government agencies, and the academia.
The Minister of Housing further pointed out that African nations are struggling to keep up with the demand of a population projected to reach 2.5 billion by 2050, with Nigeria alone expected to contribute over 400 million. Kekelamo Okeri, Global Television News.
Well, thank you, Kike. The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Shehu Mohammed, has issued a warning to fleet operators, commercial drivers, and private vehicle owners, urging them to stop making night trips. Mohammed, in a statement signed by the Corps spokesperson Olusegun Ogungbemide, pointed to the increased dangers of night travel, which include poor visibility, driver fatigue, excessive speed, and the risk of falling asleep at the wheel. He described night trip as not only unsafe but utterly dangerous. The warning came in the wake of two major accidents. On September 8, 2024, a crash in Lapai, Niger State, resulted in 37 deaths after 4 vehicles had collided and caught fire. The crash was attributed to speed violations and driver fatigue. Nigeria's Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has advised health workers to always practice standard care precautions while caring for patients. Director General of the Center, Olajide Idris, gave the advice while keeping journalists abreast with the situation reports on Mpox in Abuja. Health correspondent Queen Agaba tells us more.
Monkeypox is a rare viral zoonotic disease that can be transmitted from animals to humans and between humans. It is endemic in parts of Africa, especially in the tropical rainforest of Central and West Africa. The Director General, Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Olajide Idris, advised health workers as well as the public to avoid contact with animals that may carry the virus, including sick or dead animals in affected areas, as well as limit unnecessary physical contact with individuals who are infected.
We are having an increasing number of cases of Mpox in the country, confirmed. From the last time we said about 39, when it became about, now we have 67.
The Director General further advised health workers to ensure samples for testing are collected by trained personnel and sent to the NCDC, adding that all cases should be reported to the state epidemiologist or local government area public health department.
We are likely to be seeing increasing cases of those diseases again. So it is now incumbent on us to prepare now, to start preparing for situations and strategies that will not allow us to see as many of those cases as possible this next season.
He further urged health workers to be vigilant for symptoms of monkeypox, especially fever and rashes, and isolate suspected cases promptly and report them to relevant health authorities. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
Health correspondent Queen Agaba there. Thank you. The Federal Ministry of Works has retired one of its finance directors, Engineer Adedamola Kuti, in the Highways Department. The event took place at the conference hall of the ministry with many dignitaries in attendance. Sharon Ajay was there for Global Television.
Engineer Adedamola Kuti, who started his career with the then Federal Ministry of Works and Housing on the 11th September 1989, now takes a bow as the Director, Highways, Materials, Geotechnics and Quality Control after serving the ministry for 35 years. While speaking on his experiences during his 35 years of service, Engineer Kuti acknowledged that his career has been filled with periods of significant progress as well as obstacles, notwithstanding the excitement of how far he has come.
A long journey, full of service to humanity, especially seeing some of the projects, the contracts I participated in, and that is making a lot of difference in people's lives. You know, when you see people happy, you also become very, very happy. And yes, full of ups and downs. You know, there are very, very rough times. And of course, there were also very, very good times.
Lots of congratulations and well wishes from family members, colleagues, and acquaintances poured out. They also expressed their love for him and offered prayers for a better retirement life.
This is the beginning of a new era for him in Jesus' name. He will move from glory to glory. God will do a new thing in his life and everybody will hear and rejoice with us in Jesus' name.
This new chapter, I wish him success in it, and this is a well-deserved celebration.
And my prayer for him is that He will never retire unto death. He will have good, long life. Many good things that is yet to come. He will witness it.
Getting to this height is not easy. It is the grace of God that take people to this level. And we thank God that He's there. He's stepping out from here and stepping up to greater heights.
His service years saw him as a zonal leader, chief maintenance engineer, zonal coordinator, deputy director, and director. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Away from Sharon Ajay's report now, let's turn to Oyo State, where the police command has confirmed the release of Benedict Akika, who was kidnapped from his residence by suspected gunmen in Idiakbe or Lorunda Aba, located in Lagelu local government area of the state. Spokesperson for the command, Adewale Oshifesho, stated that the abducted People's Democratic Party chieftain was freed on Wednesday. An undisclosed number of travelers have been reportedly kidnapped after armed bandits blocked the frequently traveled Gusau-Funchal highway. A commuter who was stranded at the area, Yusuf Tafe, stated that the bandits stormed the highway in the early hours of today. You're watching the live broadcasts of the news cycle here on Global Television. We'll have more details for you after this short break. Do stay with us. Bank of Nigeria has directed all payment service providers to route all transactions from point-of-sale POS terminals at merchant and agent locations, physical or electronic, through the approved CBN Payment Terminal Service Aggregator. It is also issued a 30-day deadline requiring service providers to comply with enhanced routing guidelines for point-of-sale transactions. This move aims to strengthen the monitoring of electronic transactions across Nigeria and decentralized POS transaction routing, addressing concerns about the centralization of such transactions under a single entity. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has disclosed that 134 illegal refineries were destroyed in the past week. The company also stated that 63 illegal pipeline connections were uncovered during the period. The Bank of Industry has donated relief materials to the National Emergency Management Agency as part of its corporate social responsibility initiative. In a statement made available to the Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, Olashokbo Olushi, he emphasized the bank's dedication to supporting vulnerable communities and promoting inclusiveness across the country. Beneficiaries of the federal government student loan scheme across the country have lamented the delay in the payment of their August monthly stipend. Some of these students, in separate interviews with the newsmen, expressed their disappointment in the payment delay. Reports say that students can choose to apply for upkeep loan apart from institutional loans, which is paid directly to respective institutions. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, says going forward, the federal government intends to deploy technology in the prevention and treatment of cancer across the country. He stated this in Abuja at the MedServe Oncology Summit 2.0, where stakeholders gathered to chart a course for Nigeria's efforts aimed at tackling the spread of cancer. Edun noted that technology is playing a key role not only in the financial sector, stating that the current effort of government is to deploy technology to see how to cure cancer. On the foreign scene, the United Kingdom government has announced its intention to nominate Dapo Akande, a professor of public international law at the University of Oxford, for election as judge at the International Court of Justice in 2026. This was disclosed by Joanna Roper, the UK's ambassador to the Netherlands and representative to the ICJ, who confirmed that Akande's nomination would take place in 2026. The United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees says 6 of its employees have been killed in an Israeli airstrike on a school it runs in central Gaza. Gaza's Hamas-run civil defense agency said 18 people were killed in a strike on Al-Jawni School in Nuseirat refugee camp, which is being used as a shelter by thousands of displaced Palestinians. Israel's military said it carried out a precise strike on terrorists planning attacks from the school and that it had taken measures to avoid harm to civilians. Peru's former president, Alberto Fujimori, who was convicted of human rights abuses and corruption, has died at the age of 86, that's according to his daughter. Fujimori governed Peru between 1990 and 2000 before being forced from office amid allegations of corruption. His tough stance against a left-wing guerrilla insurgency while president also brought allegations of human rights abuses. However, his supporters praised him for defeating the rebels at a time when they looked likely to seize power. He fled the country but was subsequently arrested and extradited before being convicted and jailed. His daughter, Keiko Fujimori, posted on social media to say the former president had died after a long battle with cancer. Malaysian police have rescued 402 children and teenagers that they suspect were physically and sexually abused across 20 care homes. The victims, aged between 1 to 7, were said to have endured various forms of abuse, with some allegedly forced to perform sexual acts on other children, said Police Inspector General Razaduri Hussein at a press conference. Police have arrested 171 suspects, including religious teachers and caretakers. A man from the Republic of Ireland has been found dead in a police cell in Portugal. Police in Portugal say the 29-year-old man had been detained on suspicion of assaults in Albufeira. The National Republican Guard, which is the Gendarmerie Force of Portugal, said he took his own life. He was found dead in his cell. A spokesperson said emergency services were called immediately, but he was declared dead at the scene. Sitaram Yechury, the leader of India's largest communist party, has died at the age of 72. He was being treated for an acute respiratory tract infection at a Delhi hospital where he was admitted on 19 August. Yechury, the General Secretary of the Communist Party of India Marxists, or CPI, was a key figure in India's politics over several decades. Let's bring you a bit of sports on the news. Nigerian football fans have taken to social media urging the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, to retain Austin Eguavoen as the next head of coach of Super Eagles following the team's recent impressive performances in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. The team secured a convincing 3-0 victory against Benin Republic in Uyo before being held goalless by Rwanda in Kigali. And that's a full cycle on the news, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Just a quick reminder that we are on DSTV channel 365 Star Times, channel 276, and free to air on Nigecomsat. Kindly follow Global Television across all social media platforms using our Global TV NG, as well as other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Agmo Foigbe saying a big thank you to you for watching. Coming up at top of the hour is Big Talk with Edikon Michael.